What's going on, you social savages? It's your favorite nutritionist, John Kowaleski, back with another edition of T2N Live. If you're new to my Facebook page, please do me a favor, like and follow me. If you're watching the replay over on my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing as well as clicking that bell so you get notified when I post new content, which I tend to be doing all the time. So now let's get into the show. Now we're talking about protein. I personally call protein the king of the macronutrients. It's essential for life because it's one of the basic building blocks of every human cell, and it's involved in most of the vital biomechanical functions in the human body, as well as all the chemical reactions that go on inside the body. Protein itself is made up of long chains of amino acids that are linked together like beads on a string. There are a total of 21 amino acids, 9 of which are essential acids that you must get through your diet. The other 12 can be produced by converting other materials in the body. Protein is particularly important in growth, development, and tissue repair. So obviously, goes without saying you need your protein. So the question I'm looking to answer today is, can you eat too much protein? The short answer is yes. Just like anything you consume, too much of it can be harmful. Even water can be dangerous if you ingest too much too fast. There are certain situations where protein needs to be monitored closely, such as people that have kidney disease or diabetes. For normal people, a high protein diet is perfectly safe, provided that they keep their water intake high and they get plenty of fiber. Otherwise, the protein can kind of gum things up a little bit. So, what are the optimum levels of protein? The average person that doesn't exercise on a regular basis should probably take in about 0.36 grams per pound of body weight, which isn't really a whole lot of protein, but it's enough to sustain the functions within your body. If you perform resistance training, weight training on a regular basis, you can safely adjust that number to between 0.8 and 1 gram per pound of body weight. In circumstances where you train intensely, multiple times a week with weights and cardio and the like, you can even go as far as 1.5 to 2 grams per pound of body weight. Now, that's pretty much the statistics of the whole thing. But let's get down to brass tacks. Who are you, and do you need an excessive amount of protein? Like I touched on just a minute ago, if you are someone who hits the gym and you're in there 5 days a week and you're lifting heavy, you're trying to build muscle. Obviously, you want to make sure that your protein intake is high because protein is integral to building muscle mass. There are those people that say another macronutrient, carbohydrates, is integral as well. And it can be, provided that your body isn't metabolically adapted to run on another fuel source called ketones, which we're going to get into that in another show as well. If you just live a normal life and you don't really exercise a whole lot, you're healthy, but you just don't exercise a whole lot and whatnot, you're completely fine. 0.36, half a gram of protein per pound of body weight, and you're going to have protein levels that are adequate enough to keep you healthy for the activity level that you have. The problem that we run into is there is so much misinformation on the internet when it comes to how much protein you should take in. And all proteins aren't made up the same, folks. Let's just look at it like that. You have your protein powders, your whey protein, there's pea protein, there's soy protein, there's all these different types of protein that are available on the market as far as supplement powders. Now, I can tell you from personal experience that, in my opinion, mind you, I'm not the end-all be-all say over this. I personally find a whey protein isolate to work best for digestion and for being an adequate protein source if you're trying to build muscle. In the 6 years that I've been lifting weights, if I have supplemented with protein, it has been with a whey protein. And being somebody that's now 52 years old, in the 6 years that I've been lifting weights, I've been able to put on 30 pounds of muscle in 6 years. So without steroids or anything, that's not bad. So the whey protein definitely, speaks for itself as far as being able to help someone build muscle. There are people that are vegan and vegetarian, and there are protein sources for that. Like I said, there's pea protein, there's soy protein. There are a number of other plant-based protein sources out there that you can make sure that you keep your protein levels up high with. So let me ask you guys, for those of you watching on the live show, what questions do you have for me about protein? What do you consider a good amount of protein for you? Have you experimented with it? Have you tried to get your protein primarily from meat sources? Have you added supplements? What are the things that you've done to maintain your protein levels at the level that you want them to be at for whatever your lifestyle calls for? Leave that in the comments below. Same thing if you're watching on YouTube later on. Leave me a comment. I always answer the comments and questions, and we'll get back to you. So, protein. It's crazy, right? I've already thrown a bunch of information at you, and we're just a few minutes into this. But, I mean, when it gets right down to brass tacks, folks, you have to realize, like I said in the beginning, that protein is one of the major building blocks for your body, okay? Your cells are made up of it. It's the amino acids that are contained inside of protein are broken down and used at a chemical level to, perform different functions within the body, both in the digestive tract, the central nervous system. All these areas use the amino acids that are broken down from protein to get the job done, get things done that you need done. So it's very important that you pay attention to all your macronutrients, actually. And in the coming weeks, we're going to be doing shows on the other macronutrients, which are carbohydrates and fat. And everything works together inside your body to keep you moving, to keep you alive. And it's important as you are modifying your diet for whatever reason, if you want to lose weight, if you want to, improve your performance, if you're trying to train in some sort of athletic endeavor or something like that, it's really important that you pay attention to your protein. I say first and foremost, because without protein, everything else falls by the wayside. If you're getting carbs and fats, but you're not getting enough protein, you're not going to build muscle. It's just that simple. The other side of that argument is with the people that build muscle on a ketogenic protocol. There are those that say you cannot build muscle without carbohydrates. That is not 100% true. Is it easier to build muscle with carbohydrates? Sure, as long as your protein level is high, but you can also build muscle without carbohydrates. Just make sure that your protein level is actually higher. In most situations, people that are trying to gain muscle on a ketogenic protocol, they tend to run their protein even a little higher yet than those that are taking in carbohydrates along with what they're doing. The thing to keep in mind is, for a ketogenic protocol, there's a myth that goes around about if you eat too much protein, your body will turn it into glucose, and that will in turn throw you out of ketosis. That is not true. There is a process in the body called gluconeogenesis that is performed in the liver, where your liver takes amino acids and converts them into glucose for use in the body. However, it's a demand-driven process. It only happens when it absolutely has to. So basically what winds up happening is, if you eat too much protein, provided you don't have any kind of kidney disease or anything like that, the biggest thing that you're going to do is you're going to excrete that extra protein, either in your urine, your stool, whatever the case may be. So keep that in mind. You can't really go, I say that, but you can. If you're eating 3 or 4 grams of protein per pound of body weight, yeah, that's way too much protein. And that may be hard on your kidneys and liver to deal with. But most people aren't going to do something like it anyway. If you realized how much food you would need to eat that level of protein, you'd realize that most people aren't going to do that anyway. So that's pretty much it as far as what you need to be taking in. I'll recap that whole thing. If you don't exercise on a regular basis, 0.36 to 0.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight If you do exercise on somewhat of a regular basis, you can take it to 0.8 grams to 1 gram per pound of body weight. And if you train intensely, you're lifting weights several days a week in the gym, doing a lot of cardio, you can take it as high from 1.5 to even 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So keep it in those numbers. Always, always, always. Anytime you make any kind of big change in your diet, consult your physician or your nutritionist or your dietitian, your coach, whatever. Speak to somebody that's a professional and run by them the information that you have and let them guide you as to what the best way is to go about dealing with the protein and making sure that you don't get too much and you're not doing anything. Because the last thing you want to do is increase your protein in an effort to make yourself healthier and wind up actually causing damage in the process. So that's kind of it for the protein this week. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. Again, if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section here on Facebook. Even after the live is finished, leave questions or comments on YouTube because the video will be over on YouTube later this evening. So now we're going to jump into a new portion of my show, which is called Shoutouts. If it works. Always something with the tech. The company is the brainchild of founder and CEO Eric Young, who is also known as Mr. Mountaineer. And on Instagram, Mountaineer, the 2 E's are actually 2 3's, just so you know. They started off with a line of all natural beard care products and accessories. These products are absolutely amazing, folks, and they're the only products I have ever used in my beard, or ever will for that matter. So make sure if you're growing a beard or if you know somebody that is, make sure you drop that little name in their ear, Mountaineer brand. But now as time went on, Mountaineer brand grew to include a line of all natural body care products named after the family's grandmother, Granny Vickers. The Granny Vickers line features such things as lip balms, itch, fix, and rash relief, vapor rub, insect repellent, and so much more. You can find all of the Mountaineer brand products and the Granny Vicker products on mountaineerbrand.com. And just so they know how you found them, I have a special treat for you. Use the promo code T2N at checkout for 15% off your order. If that wasn't enough, they went and launched a brand new line of CBD products. Their CBD oil drops come in 500, 1,000, and 1,500 milligram strengths. This stuff is amazing, guys, for reducing stress and inflammation, improving sleep and recovery, also for reduction in pain. There are so many uses for this stuff, I can't even tell you all about them. They also have a topical balm that comes in 500 and 1,000 milligram strengths. This stuff beats anything that I've ever used to relieve sore muscle pain, and in my experience, it works in minutes. Best of all, it doesn't have that smell that most sore muscle products do. You can get your CBD products at mountaineerbrandrx.com. And last but certainly not least, the OCB Mountain State Classic. Folks, I got to tell you, I'm honored to have been asked to be a part of this all-natural competition as they debut their brand new body transformation division in 2020. Stacy Chapman, promoter and an OCB pro herself, has a passion for growing this show and inspiring people to be the best version of themselves. As the official nutritionist to the Classic, I'm reaching out to the body transformation competitors to assist them in any way possible. So if you or someone you know is a natural bodybuilder or someone who would like to transform their body and inspire people by entering the body transformation division, feel free to message me or leave a comment below and I'll get back to you ASAP. That's it for shout outs for this week. All right. One final thing to talk to you guys about, and that is the fact that I was actually able finally to get my new ebook published on Amazon. The name of the book is Have You Been Diagnosed with Type 2 Diabetes? Here's What's Next. This particular book goes in depth into my story as far as what I went through in the weeks and months right after I found out I was a type 2 diabetic. And it also goes into a lot of the science as far as what you need to do in those beginning times to not let the disease overwhelm you and to be smart about the way that you go about doing things. So I encourage everybody to, if you don't have type 2 diabetes and you know somebody that does, I encourage them to, I encourage you to share this information with them. I will be sharing a link to the Amazon page. I will share it in the comments after the live goes down. I forgot to share it or put it in the comments or in the description before I went live, but I will add it in the comments after I finish up with the live video. But it is available on Amazon.com. It is an ebook format, and I can guarantee you that it costs less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. And Lord knows that Starbucks isn't necessarily the best thing for you all the time. This, you can spend less than the money for a cup of coffee at Starbucks, and you can actually improve your health or improve somebody else's health. So that's pretty much all that I've got for this time, guys. I'll switch it back to the right spot. Join me again next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Hopefully I'll be getting better at this stuff and I won't have all the problems with switching, and I won't be making all those types of noises, and things will be getting a lot smoother as I continue to do these, because at the end of the day, my goal is to bring you guys value each and every week when I come out here and do this live. I want to bring you valuable content on my YouTube channel. Anywhere that I'm putting content out, I want to make sure that you guys are getting something out of it. So that's it. I will see you guys next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Until I see you again, God bless.